This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight on the University of North Alabama, featuring conversations with UNA officials and friends of the university. This is your look inside campus. Now your host, the voice of the Lions, Benjamin Ray.
Welcome back into another week of the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. I'm Benjamin Ray. Today's episode's a great one. We're going to chat with the College of Business and Technology. Joining us will be the Dean of the College, Dr. Gregory Carnes, and Dr. Janet Beaver, the Associate Dean. We'll also chat with Eric Kirkman about North Alabama's Division I transition, and we'll hear from the two basketball coaches at North Alabama, and Coach Tony Poolhole and Coach Missy Tiber. We've got a lot to get into, so let's jump into it now. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama campus. We're on a football Saturday here at Brawley Stadium. North Alabama is getting set to kick off Big South Conference play against Campbell. Of course, kickoff for this ball game is set for 6 p.m., actually a 6:05 kick thanks to the ESPN broadcast. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will join you at 5 o'clock for the countdown to kickoff show. But before we get to that, let's jump into the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. This afternoon, we're taking you inside the College of Business and Technology. We're excited to have the Dean, Dr. Gregory Carnes, and the Associate Dean, Dr. Janet Beaver. Dr. Carnes and Dr. Beaver, thank you both so much for joining us. Let's start with some introductions. Tell us a little bit about your background, your time here at the University of North Alabama. And Dr. Carnes, we'll start with you.
Sure. So this is my 15th year at University of North Alabama. I've loved it here. This is my 9th year as Dean of the College of Business. It's actually the 4th university that I've taught at. So I've been at Louisiana State University, Northern Illinois University, and then I was Dean at Lipscomb University, which is my alma mater, just before I came here in 2007.
Now, you just rattled off a lot of Division I schools that you've been at. How much growth have you seen at UNA during your time, especially in the last 4 years of this transition?
Well, tremendous growth. So I've been here, like I said, 15 years, and so the university's had tremendous enrollment growth during that time period, and not just in terms of the university hasn't just changed in terms of increasing number of students. This is a much higher quality university across the board. And just as we've moved to Division I with sports, from the academic side, including the College of Business and Technology, we continue to improve the quality of the programs that we're delivering, and that's been recognized by some new accreditations that we've received.
And we'll dive into all that momentarily. That's great information right there. Dr. Beaver, you have a lot to dive into right here, but tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. This is also my 15th year here at UNA. This is my 5th year as Associate Dean in the college. And before that, I was Department Chair of Management and Marketing and Professor of Management. My prior life is in the K-12 sector. I was an instructional technology coordinator at the central office and also taught in high schools at 2 different systems.
And now this is the year of the UNA woman, and you have a great story connection to this. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I have a unique connection. I'm a fourth-generation UNA woman. My great-grandmother started here in the 1920s, and back then, of course, it was for teaching purposes, teaching certificates. And so she went in the 1920s and got her teaching certificate, came back later for some master's work. My grandmother was a student here in the late 1940s. She was one of the first majorettes on campus.
Wow.
And received her degree in the 50s. Later came back for a master's degree. My mother was here in the 70s and received an undergraduate degree and a master's degree. And then I came along in the late 90s and received my bachelor's degree.
Now, did you always know you were coming to UNA? Was that a given?
It wasn't. It did sort of happen, and I am a fourth-generation educator as well. And I had said I would do anything but teach. I'm not going to teach, but apparently it's in my blood.
That is great right there.
And Jana's mother, and also was a full professor in our college here. For I don't know how many years she taught here, but she retired a few years ago, but she also worked for us.
It all comes back full circle. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the College of Business and Technology. Who better than to educate us than the dean and the associate dean? And the first question I've got to ask you, you go on the website, there's a lot of great information there, but one of the first things it says on there is why you should choose the UNA College of Business and Technology. And for either one of you, in your own words, what makes this department so great?
I think what makes it great is we've got faculty who really put the students first. And so that's not just in how they interact with students on a day-to-day basis, but that's important because you got to have that relationship. But it's putting the time in to make sure we have our academic programs and the courses that we teach in those are up to date and that they're changing at the same pace that the global economy is changing, because that's changing so rapidly. And so I think it gets back to great faculty and staff being committed to students, putting them first, and trying and whatever we do it at a high quality level.
Anything you want to add, Dr. Beaver?
Sure. When we have the opportunity to house students on our campus for visits, they see the great opportunities that we have in the college with our faculty and our programs that we offer. We have great class sizes for undergraduate students, great flexible opportunities for graduate students, so we can meet a lot of their needs.
Now, we talk a lot about growth here at the University of North Alabama, and this blew me away. The College of Business and Technology is the fastest growing unit of the university. Undergraduate enrollment has increased by 30% in the last 4 years. Graduate business enrollment has doubled in the last 4 years. I mean, what do you guys attribute this growth to?
I think, similar to what we just said is the commitment to quality and to the students, and also, and you're right. I mean, we've been really proud of our growth. This fall, it looks like we'll probably end up with over 2,600 students in total in the College of Business, which is over 30% of the overall university enrollment. I think also our accreditations. So we have the premier accreditation for business schools internationally, AACSB for our business schools. For our business programs, and then all of our technology programs are accredited by EBET, and so which is also the premier accreditation for technology programs. So I think that when you have great programs, you got great faculty and staff, and then we have great recruiting processes that we've put in place over the last 7 years to really help us be efficient in our recruiting processes and make sure that we really try to the motto we use is we want to pull students through the recruiting process, and so we don't let them languish. Once they connect with us, we do everything we can to stay in touch with them and pull them through.
Now, my understanding, there's 4 academic departments: accounting and business law, computer science and information, finance, economics and data analytics, management, and marketing. So let's talk about some of the exciting programs that you guys have launched this fall or you're working on. What all's going on right now in the College of Business and Technology?
Well, for the new things for this fall, we're very proud of our new data analytics program. So that we have a new major in our Bachelor of Business Administration. Data analytics is a rapidly growing field, and that also has synergy with the technology programs we offer, computer science and information technology. And so those fields are closely related. as part of launching this new data analytics program, we also have launched a Center for Sports Analytics. And Dr. Jason Imbrogno is the advisor, is the director of that center. And this semester, he has actually 5 of our undergraduate students who are working on projects with 5 different coaches in the athletic department, helping them with data analytics for their teams. Another item that we haven't launched yet this fall, from starting classes, but we've begun developing a new master's in healthcare administration. And healthcare, the business of healthcare was growing rapidly before COVID, but it's growing even more rapidly now. There's an increase in demand for folks with knowledge in that field, and so we're looking forward to launching that new healthcare administration master's within the next year.
Sports analytics, that's very fascinating. I need to get with our coaches. That's stuff I can incorporate into the broadcasting, and that's an area that has really grown in the last handful of years. So that's great that's something you guys are offering.
Yeah, and you hear a lot more, professional sports and college sports about how coaches are using data analytics to actually make decisions during games, and so we want to use our expertise to help out the coaches with that. At the same time, this is great experiential learning for the students. I mean, being a student here at UNA and actually being able to apply what you're learning in the classroom in a real-world capacity with the athletic department is fantastic.
That is unbelievable. Dr. Beaver, we mentioned the accreditations. Tell us a little bit about those in depth and why they are so important.
Sure. So Dean Carnes already mentioned that AACSB is the premier business accreditation for colleges of business across the world. There are over 13,000 business schools in the world, and this is the top 5% of them. So we're really proud to be among that group. It takes a lot of work. So, what that means to us is the external validation that we have quality programs, right? I mean, we can sit here and say it all day long, but having that logo on our materials and being able to speak that to parents and even thinking about our master's students, a lot of the companies who assist them with payment for their tuition, they want them to go to high quality schools and sometimes require that's AACSB. So it's nice for us to have that external validation. And so it means that we have continuous improvement. We work on ensuring that we have high quality curriculum and that we're staying current, that faculty are staying current in their teaching and their research. And so for the ABET, the Engineering and Technology Accreditation, we have the Computing Accreditation for all 3 of our programs, and they've received initial accreditation in Information Technology and reaffirmation in the other 2 programs. Again, it's as we think about workforce development and computing and technology programs and how important they are for the state of Alabama, we want to make sure that we have that external validation that we're of high quality.
Now, when we talk about these changes, the growth as well, you guys had a name change as well. Tell us about the significance of this.
Yes, the Board of Trustees this summer approved changing our name from College of Business to College of Business and Technology. We've actually offered a BS in Computer Science in the college for over 10 years now. And then we have added to that just recently a Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology. And as part of that program, we have a track in cybersecurity. And so as we brought these technology programs into the college, we didn't feel like our name was really representative of what we're doing from a technology perspective. And we're very unique now at the UNA College of Business and Technology. Dr. Beaver mentioned that we have these 3 ABET accredited programs. You can count on one hand the number of universities in the Southeast where the business school has accredited programs in technology and computer science and computer information systems in the College of Business. And the reason that's important is because technology is what's driving business innovation today. And so at UNA, for us to have the technology professors and the business professors in the same building, offices next door to each other where they can collaborate together that's one of the things that's allowing us to be innovative with our curriculum.
So we're sitting here talking about how you guys are changing the department, keeping up with the times. The world is constantly changing as well. Now, academic programs are constantly being updated, but how are you guys evolving to meet workforce demands these days?
One area has to do with the computing programs. We are known as Alabama's Workforce Development University. The state of Alabama has indicated significant need for technology workers in the state, and we want to train them here and keep them here. And so the way that we do that, in one way, is to offer scholarships to students to come to UNA. And so we have 3 different levels of scholarships. We have $25 million dedicated for 10 years to ensure that we get high-quality computing students here. And then we're nurturing them to go through internships and career fairs, and for them to stay in Alabama and work here. Another piece of that computing is a new building that has been under development at the university, and the state of Alabama has committed money as well as other resources. It'll be a 40,000 square foot state-of-the-art building, beautiful addition to campus, and it will house computing and math programs. And so that will be a great recruiting tool for students.
That is certainly exciting to hear. We're going to jump to a commercial real quick. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about master's programs, some other programs you offer. But the last thing I want to leave this segment with both of you is, what's your favorite thing about campus? What excites you most when you come to work and you interact with students?
Well, the thing that I enjoy most about campus actually is the students. So, and we learned that last year during COVID when we didn't have as many students around. But I think what's unique about our campus that I just love is just the beautiful landscape and the beautiful architecture on this campus. When I interviewed here, the first time I stepped on campus, I was just blown away by the beauty of the campus, and it's a real jewel that we have here.
That's true. I was here in the late 90s in school, and so we could drive through campus then. So I love having the fountain and other walkable areas of campus. We try to keep this a secret, but I have a great view from my office. And so if I get up from my computer and try to look out the window, I might be distracted from work. But it's a beautiful view, and it's really nice to see the students walking around and friendly faces. It's a great place to be.
You can't be in an office with a great work view. So that is great. All right, we're talking with Dr. Carnes and Dr. Beaver, Dean and Associate Dean of the College of Business and Technology. We'll take a quick time out. We'll return. This is the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
With UNA being student-oriented, I know I will get smaller classes. The teachers are very dedicated and helping me understand the material. I feel like they really care that I succeed. If you're hesitant about whether you should or shouldn't get your master's, but you know that you want or need to, you should just do it, because you don't know where it's going to take you. And you don't know until you get on that path.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
I'm Benjamin Ray, welcoming you back into the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. It's another football Saturday. It's shaping up to be a great afternoon turned evening here at Brawley Municipal Stadium. North Alabama and Campbell. UNA's 1-1 in the last 3 years against Campbell. We lost back in 2018 up there against Campbell. Then they came back down here 2019. North Alabama posted a win. It was a Joe Gurley last-second field goal that gave North Alabama that win. The two teams did not meet in 2020. They both played in the fall, then opted out of spring football. And here we are getting back together in year 4 of this Division I transition. Kicks off Big South Conference play. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will have the call and pregame show coming up at 5. Kickoff at 6:05 p.m. right here on WLX. For now, though, we're talking about the College of Business and Technology with Dr. Gregory Carnes and Dr. Jana Beaver. And we pick things back up. Let's talk about the master's programs. And I know postgraduate work is so important for people now, helping themselves out professionally. But tell us a little bit about how people can get involved in what this master's program offers.
All right, so we have right now 2 master's programs in the College of Business: the Master's of Business Administration (MBA) and the Master of Accountancy. And with both of these programs, we've had significant growth. So we've more than tripled the number of our students in the MBA program in the last 8 years. In fact, one statistic that we're very proud of is if you add up the total number of MBA students at the University of Alabama and at Auburn University, take that total, we still have more students in our MBA than they do in total. So why do we have, such large programs? Well, it gets back to, once again, meeting the needs of the learner. We're really focused on making sure our programs, first of all, high quality with the accreditations we've talked about, but we want to make sure they're convenient for students, because these programs are focused on working adults. These are busy individuals. They're working, they have families, they have other responsibilities. So it needs to be convenient. It needs to be flexible, because there's not a one-size-fits-all curriculum path to meet people's needs today. They're looking for a lot that they want to be able to customize their program. So our program is very flexible. And then affordability is very important to us. Now, we don't sacrifice quality for affordability, but we are very committed to making sure that middle-class Americans can afford to get a master's degree at the University of North Alabama. That's our mission. Our mission is to help prepare people to have better careers and better lives. And so we've been very successful with that, both with the MBA and with the Master of Accountancy.
Now, master's programs, people today, they get into it, and they can move rather quickly through it, right?
They can. So these are both online programs. So the MBA is 34 credit hours. The Master of Accountancy is 30 credit hours. They can move at their own pace. Because they're working adults, most students spend about 2 years going through the program. However, if a student wants to move through the program in 12 months, they can do that. And we have a few full-time students who do just that.
And how can people get more information about some of the postgraduate offerings?
They just go to our website at the UNA website, una.edu/business, and you can find links there for all of our programs.
So, Dr. Beaver, we're talking about some of the master's programs, but students, I know you guys have so much going on. Tell us about some of the bigger programs in the college overall.
Sure, and if we're talking about enrollment, we're still enrolling in this fall semester. So we have 8-week sessions, and the second 8 weeks starts mid-October, and especially our graduate programs and our online BBA Flex, which is our undergraduate bachelor's degree for working adults. We're still enrolling. Had a recruitment update this morning, and we're excited to add a few more students before that start. So our total enrollment for the fall semester looks like it's going to be around 2,600, about 1,200 or so, if that will be graduate students. The MBA, again, the largest in the state of Alabama, as ranked by Birmingham Business Journal for 5 years in a row. That MAC program the Masters of Accountancy has about 125 students in it, which is great. We started that program about 3 years ago, so that's some nice steady growth. That online BBA Flex program for the working adults finishing their undergraduate program, we're at about 140 students there. That program started in the spring of 2018, and we've been excited to see it grow steadily. We think that will continue to grow as we talk about the workforce development and the need for individuals in the state to have educational background appropriate to progress in their careers. The computer science and information technology programs, as we've discussed, that credit hour production is up about 12%. So we're seeing that investment in those scholarships and all of our talk about our programs and the building. We can see that come through in the credit hour production.
Now, we've talked about so many of the great things happening right now, and let's talk about the Executive Doctorate of Business Administration, the first on campus. I know you guys have to be very proud of that, but tell us a little bit about this program.
Sure. The Executive DBA it's a newer program, not just at UNA, but really across the country. So there's about 40 universities now who offer an Executive DBA. And traditionally, if you wanted a doctorate in business, you had to go into a full-time PhD program that usually took 4 to 5 years. That's a lot of opportunity cost for successful business professionals to have to give up in order to get a doctorate degree. So these programs allow someone who is doing well in their career, but they're either at the executive level and they want to expand their knowledge base, or they want to move to the executive level. But they need to keep working. They need to keep progressing in their career. So this program is you can continue your job and get your executive DBA. The students are on campus basically 1 weekend a month. The rest of the program's online. It's a 3-year program, including the dissertation. We launched our first cohort in January of 2021. We began that with 13 students. And this is a program that's designed, we're not looking to have 1,100 students like in the MBA program. We're looking to bring in about 20 students a year into this program, because this is a program where these students need a lot of attention from our faculty, because this is a research degree. And what it does is it helps folks who want to continue to make sure that the company they're working for is responding properly to the changing demands and challenges that are presented, in the global business economy, or some of our students actually own their own businesses. And then also there are students who are looking to transition to academia. And because this is a doctoral degree, this is something that will allow someone to transition to academia if they would like to. So I think this is just a game changer for the College of Business and Technology. We started our online MBA in 2004. We were a very early adopter with that. I feel like that with the Executive DBA, we're also an early adopter of that degree program. And just like we were on the forefront of taking online graduate education to working adults, now I think we're on the forefront of taking doctoral level education to working business professionals. And I think it's going to increase our branding and reputation, not just throughout the southeastern United States, but nationally.
So you guys were the first and one of maybe 40 programs. I mean, have you seen a lot of great reception nationally from this?
Yeah, we have, in our first class, we have students from 5 or 6 different states who are in our first class. And so it's not just we're not just appealing to students within Alabama, although we have more from Alabama than any other state.
That's great. That's great. Let's talk about some of the hands-on experience. You go to class, and that's great, but nothing beats real-life world experience. What are some of the great things you guys are doing to get students that experience?
That's right, Ben. So experiential learning is a huge focus for the university and the college. We were excited a couple of weeks ago to host an experiential learning browse fair for our students. I had a couple hundred students there, and all of our opportunities throughout the college were represented. And we want to show students that it's more than just being in the classroom. And it's even more than just participating in a student organization in your discipline or other student organizations at the university. There's more to that. There are internships and externships. And for our listeners who may not know about what externships are, you might can help us with that as you are living in the community and may have opportunities. Externships are really short-term, like maybe one day, of a younger student, freshman, sophomore, coming and observing in your business and trying to get a feel for what that discipline, what somebody in that major or discipline would do. And then obviously internships for juniors and seniors who have gained some knowledge and skills in that area. So when we would love to partner with you on externships and internships, we have study away opportunities, which are within the United States. We also have study abroad opportunities, which we look forward to opening back up post-pandemic. And one of the experiential learning opportunities we also have in the college is something called the Generator. That's our student incubator for the university. And the idea is that students have a place where they can come to learn about innovation and entrepreneurship and share ideas, and are provided with mentorship from serial entrepreneurs, experienced individuals in the community, who work for banks or marketing. Our Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship helps nurture those students through sometimes to even earn provisional patents. So the generator is open to any student, undergraduate or graduate, throughout the university. Another experiential learning opportunity is with our Steele Center for Professional Selling. We're thankful to Robert Steele, who was a former standout UNA football player, not only for his financial contributions to the naming the center and funds for events, but he is also an active mentor to our students, and he attends events and really wants to be part of it. So it's so much more than a naming opportunity for him, and we appreciate that. But we have corporate partnerships there, and what the corporate sponsors are interested in is learning more about our students and what skills they have, and interacting with them and internal competitions. And then those are great opportunities for them to hire for internships or career positions. Those students participate in competitions both internally and regionally and nationally, and have done very well in the last 3 or 4 years, competing with some of the top sales universities in the country. We also have other organizations which provide competition opportunities for students, networking opportunities. All of those things are really important for students to gain experience in, so that they can be much more employable.
Of course, Robert Steele, a great friend to the university, played at North Alabama, played with the Dallas Cowboys, played in a Super Bowl, unbelievable ally to have. But for either one of you, alumni support, I mean, how much do you have alumni coming in and helping students and offering opportunities? We wouldn't be where we are today without our alumni support. And, it's the alumni, and not just giving back financially, but giving of their time and their expertise to help our students. And so they serve as mentors for our students, particularly in the student incubator that Dr. Beaver mentioned, the generator. As those students are developing their own businesses, many mentors come in to help them with that. We have alumni who come in as guest speakers. And then we also, have an executive business council that provides strategic advice for the College of Business and Technology, and most of the individuals on that council are alums. All right, so let's shift gears and talk a little bit about Ncaa Academics. Now, COVID really shook up things athletically. I joke we've got some players that are redshirt freshmen, but they're in their 3rd year of school. So you can take the time to kind of sort through that. But with that, you've got players transferring. You've got players getting 5th, 6th, 7th years in some circumstances. But how have your graduate programs been an attractive options for athletes for this time?
One of the things that we've seen, particularly given the extra year of eligibility that the athletes have because of the COVID year last year, is many students, some who have been at UNA, some who have been at other universities, they've already finished their undergraduate degree, but they've got another year, maybe 2, of eligibility. And so we have many of the athletes now in our MBA program. There's actually 13 athletes who are on scholarship at UNA this year who are in our MBA program. 6 of those from the football team, and in 2 of those cases, at least 2 of those cases, these students transferred in from another university, and so as they were looking at UNA, they were looking at what the opportunities were in the football program. They also, though, were looking at the opportunities in the business school and whether or not they felt like they could get a high-quality graduate business education here. So we're real excited that we're kind of part of this partnership with athletics, and we're able to provide the educational opportunities that the legacy UNA students need, but also those looking to transfer here.
Does it make you guys a little proud when you see an athlete that you've had in class excel on the playing court or field?
Sure, that's a huge part of it, but also the recruiting piece. This summer, Coach Lisco texts me and says, hey, we've got a couple of students I'm bringing in. And so the first one that popped in is Jaylen Gibson. And, he was just he has such an infectious personality and great smile, and just so friendly, and I immediately loved him. And so I'm hopeful that he chooses to come here. And obviously the athletic side has their spill, and they're trying to convince him, but we're trying to convince him on the academic side. It is a partnership where we both have to bring things to the table to try to convince that student to come here. So it's exciting that he finished his undergraduate degree somewhere else and was able to come here and start on his master's degree.
No doubt about that. This has been great conversation. Is there anything else people need to know that we haven't covered?
I think the main thing that I want people to know about the College of Business and Technology is that we're here to serve learners. And we've talked about undergraduate students. We've talked about the graduate programs, even the doctoral program. But we also provide a lot of professional training for businesses throughout not just the Shows area, but the North Alabama region. And we have an Agile Strategy Lab where we do consulting with Fortune 500 companies. So we're here to try to help serve our region, help serve the students, help serve the community. And if you want to learn more about us, just go to our website because we've got all the information there.
This has been great conversation. Dr. Carnes, Dr. Beaver, thank you for joining us here on the Purple and Gold Hour.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
That's Dr. Gregory Carnes, the Dean, and Dr. Jana Beaver, the Associate Dean of the College of Business and Technology. We'll call for another timeout. More coverage to come. Eric Kirkman joins us next to talk about the Division I transition. This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
My whole life has been about making an impact. Not just on the field, but in the world around me. My high school Spanish teacher helped me find my true calling to educate and serve others all over the world. I used to think the biggest college was the best place to start, but my search brought me to North Alabama. At UNA, my story matters, and so does my calling.
You're listening to the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Your spotlight and inside look at the University of North Alabama. We've got an exciting Saturday evening coming up at Brawley Stadium. North Alabama is hosting Campbell. First Big South Conference game of the year. Game 5, North Alabama looking to kick off a fresh season, if you will, as conference play awaits. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will get you to kick off here. Just a little closer. Countdown to kickoff show slated to take over the airways of WLX at 5 p.m. Next up on the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation, we welcome in Dr. Eric Kirkman, Assistant Professor and Director of Kilby Laboratory School. Dr. Kirkman, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. My pleasure. Glad to be here. Excited.
Now, North Alabama is heading into the 4th and final year of the Division I transition, and we're going to talk about a lot of things with you, but the big thing is you're the chair of the transition work group. There's a Division I transition team, and that's what we want to talk about. Tell us a little bit about this group and the work you guys have been doing the last couple of years.
Okay. So this work group was actually appointed by President Kitts back in 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. This group was put together. He reached out to me to serve as the chair of this group. And so we were very strategic. He was very strategic in selecting individuals from different parts of the university, different departments that had different areas of expertise that all kind of played into some of the data and reports and things that we would have to submit to the NCAA. So it was really, really good to have this group come together and really use their strengths based on what they do every day to kind of help put the information together and submit it each year for our compliance for the NCAA.
And I think one of the great things of this is it's not just athletics that's making this move to Division I. It's taken the whole campus to come together as we transition into this new world.
That's right. That's right. And so and that was probably one of the most eye-opening things about this whole process is how not just me but several other members of the work group team as well just kind of realized how much of an impact this not only has on athletics, but really the community and the university at large. Just the funding that would come by being an NCAA Division I entity. Of course, that funding could then be turned around to support the academics, the academic programming of our university. And to also, I learned a lot about the accountability that athletes have to go through to be eligible and to to make sure that they're graduating on time and things of that nature. So all of those things, we're seeing how they impact not only the athletic side and them, performing in their sports, but also how they're performing in the classroom. And I think moving forward, we'll also see the impact of, what we'll be able to offer and how we'll be able to recruit, students here to UNA in the future.
Throughout these years that you guys have been working as we head to the fourth and final year, peel back the curtain, take us behind the scenes. What are some of the things you guys have had to do?
Okay. So we met periodically, of course, when COVID hit, it changed slightly, but we would actually meet face-to-face maybe about once every 2 or 3 months just to check in. So each year, the NCAA requires what they call a strategic plan. And that strategic plan encompassed just multiple areas of data and information just to make sure that we're truly a viable institution, worthy of Division I status. And so we've had to collect data from again, the graduation rates of our athletes, making sure that we're offering equal opportunities. Of course, there's Title IX issues and things of that nature that come into play to make sure that that we are offering equal opportunities for female athletes as well as male athletes, making sure that we're doing our due diligence with education regarding diversity and equity and things of that nature. And then stuff like, how many tickets do we sell at football games? How many tickets do we sell at basketball games? Things of that nature. So just various data points where, again, the different members of the work group, all of those questions kind of delved into their different areas of expertise. And so we'd actually come together in the beginning and say, okay, you're going to take questions 1 or 2. You're going to take questions 3 and 4. And they would have time to go get that data, and then we'd come back. And then one of our partners in athletics, Todd Vardaman, he would actually get together with another team within athletics and kind of polish it up and put it together and then submit it to the NCAA each year. So that was an annual thing that we had to do. Year 3, which was last year, was probably our biggest year because that year we actually had to submit what they call a strategic, not a strategic plan, but a self-study. And so that self-study delved even deeper into some of the things that our university offers. And that one really kind of got away from athletics and dealt more with the actual programming of the university and things that we offer. And so that report, I tell you, that was a labor of love, man. When it was finally submitted, I think it was about 2,500 pages long.
Wow.
Yeah, so the work group just did an amazing job pulling together. We actually, from that work group, we expanded that work group and had a larger work group that had about 50 members of it. Again, just pulling from different resources, getting information, and just kind of taking the work and spreading it out amongst more individuals with more different areas of expertise. So we were able to pull all of that together and submit that. And so we got the word this past summer that our self-study was approved. And then, like you said earlier, we're now in year 4. So year 4 will consist of an actual campus visit now by the NCAA. So the work group now is preparing things, getting ready for that visit. They'll actually be meeting with different entities across campus. There'll be some interviews involved in that process as well. And in addition to all that, we will once again have to submit a strategic plan look, we can do it automatically now. We've got it now. So that's really the biggest hurdle, is just that campus visit at this point. So once we get past that, I think it'll be pretty much smooth sailing from there.
It's certainly been a lot of work. I'm listening to you rattle all this off, and it's
Yeah.
like, man, goodness, I didn't know all this was going on, but behind the scenes. Now,
Yeah.
I want to ask you, we talk a lot about campus growth and the way UNA's taken off the last couple of years. What kind of impact have you seen this transition have on campus life as a whole?
Well, honestly, I can look at the recruiting. I think we're starting to become more attractive to athletes that are looking again, to play at a Division I school. I think our reach has definitely reached farther across the country. Seems to me like we're getting more athletes and more students in general from different parts of the country. So I think that the recruitment piece has really revved up. There are some academic things that I've seen grow in these last few years and months. We've actually been able to create a doctoral program through our kinesiology department, so super excited about that. So I think as time goes on, we'll start seeing more of those types of things happening with our academic departments. But like I said, I think the biggest thing is just the recruitment process of not only just students, but we're starting to recruit faculty that are coming in, higher caliber, higher credentials, and more diverse. And I think that all of those things are definitely needed for our university. So super excited about that.
It's certainly been great to see, and you're in the community as well. You guys do a lot. What kind of impact have you seen on the Shoals area as a whole?
Well, I'm starting to see downtown starting to grow a little bit, develop a little bit. I know the city has, been implementing the First Fridays and just, where before it's just kind of a community presence, but now I see a much stronger UNA presence, if that makes sense. I see our students being more plugged into different community groups and organizations and things of that nature. So I'm excited to see, and I'm seeing more business entities being talked about and industry being talked about coming to this area as they see the university growing, then thus the community will grow. So I see people wanting to come and take advantage of that.
I want to shift gears in just a second and talk about Kilby as well. But before we move on from the transition team, is there anything else we need to know or anything else that excites you about it?
Well, I think the missing piece really is going to be just community support. Getting out there, coming to UNA events, coming to UNA sporting events, things of that nature. When we can generate, good ticket sales at the gates and things, and not just football. I know football is a big part of it, but, we have some amazing women's sports as well. Basketball, soccer, tennis, golf. We have a sand volleyball team, beach volleyball team. There are so many other sports and entities and things that the more our community can kind of rally around and support, I think that's just going to really grow us overall.
It's exciting to see it all come together, and here we are, light at the end of the tunnel. Year 4 is here. Year 5, we'll really call it year 1 almost once again. So,
that's right.
All right, let's shift over. You're the director of Kilby Laboratory School, and next year will be a big year for Kilby. 100 years. Tell us a little bit about, tease us a little bit about the celebration you guys might be throwing.
Wow, so we're really excited about that, and it was just one of those things where just doing some research for some other things, we kind of came across some information. It's like, so Kilby was founded in 1922. Let's do the math. Oh my gosh, it'll be 100 years next year. So, I've been very fortunate to be the director of Kilby. This is going into my 4th year, and so one of the things that I'm excited about, looking forward to next semester with the 100th anniversary coming up, is that we were actually, and a lot of people don't know this, but actually this past summer, Kilby was named the International Association of Laboratory Schools Laboratory School of the Year. And that was based off of our academic work, just our programming, several other areas of criteria. So we're super excited about that. And so that organization is also selected Kilby to be the host site of their conference this coming spring. So we'll actually have, hopefully, if things go in the right direction regarding COVID and whatnot, but we're expecting people coming from literally all over the world to come here to Kilby for that conference, because it's an international conference. And so when we received that award, we had people on the virtual conference from Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Canada, the UK, Germany, Belgium. We literally have laboratory schools all over the world, and so we're really excited to be a part of that association. So next semester, we're going to try to find some ways to incorporate our celebrating a 100-year anniversary, or probably around the time of the conference, just to have our conference attendees also, be there to not only celebrate the anniversary of Kilby, but the anniversary of laboratory schools in general here at UNA, because actually it'll be 150 years since laboratory schools were first introduced at LaGrange College, which is now the University of North Alabama. So a lot to celebrate, a lot to be proud of. Our students, our faculty work so hard. It's just an amazing place. I love my job. I really do. I just love being there every day, and just our families, our Kilby parents, just from the top to the bottom. It's just a really, really special place.
As we wrap up our conversation with Dr. Eric Kirkman, are you a grad?
Yes, sir.
Twice.
That's right.
Yeah, you marched it in the band as well.
That's
I know
right.
Your wife works here at UNA. What makes this place so special?
Well, I came to UNA when I was 17 years old, and so UNA, I literally grew up at UNA, and so just have so many fond memories here, plugging into fraternities and organizations, the community. This is where I met my wife. She came from Tennessee, and I came from Florida, and so this place has just really been special. Learned to love a lot of people here. Learn to love the area, the community, and to plug in. I'm raising my family here now, and so it's just a really, really great place to live. I really enjoy it.
It's a special place. There's a lot going on, and I got to propose something to you. When we check that final box, we complete the transition. I think we need to have a big celebration and maybe have the Kirkman combo turn out and provide the entertainment.
Oh man, I won't turn that down at all. I definitely would be honored and willing to be a part of that celebration musically, of course. Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Kirkman, we appreciate you joining us, and, of course, the hard work and everything that you're doing on campus, especially with the transition work group. Thank you so much.
Yes, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
That's Dr. Eric Kirkman. We'll take one more time out on the Purple and Gold Hour. When we return, we'll preview men's and women's basketball schedules. We'll hear from Missy Tiber and Tony Poolhole about their upcoming slates. This is the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation.
I realized that there was a lot of just business, just the day-to-day business of the chamber that I did not feel particularly comfortable in. There was an opportunity at UNA to pursue my MBA and thought that it might be a really good idea just to bolster that side of my education. Professors were so understanding and willing to work with us. I realized then I had made the right choice, that UNA was the correct institution for me. I've never talked to anyone who's gone forward with their education who regretted that decision. It's not been easy every day, but totally worth it at all times.
The Purple and Gold Hour rolls on, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Benjamin Ray back with you. We're getting closer and closer to getting to the kick between North Alabama and Campbell coming up in just a little bit. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will get you prepped for that on the Countdown to Kickoff show. But first, let's talk some basketball here at the University of North Alabama. The men's and women's schedules were introduced in the last week or so. We had a chance to catch up with both coaches, Tony Poolhole and Missy Tiber, to get their respective thoughts. Let's kick it off. Next, we'll hear from Missy Tiber on what her schedule looks like and what excites her most about the fourth year of the Division I transition. With 10 fresh faces and 4 returnees, UNA head basketball coach Missy Tiber has released the 2020-21 schedule for the fourth and final year of the Division I transition. Set to open up November 9th, Coach Tiber's squad is set to take on schools from the SEC, OVC, Sunbelt, SoCon, and the Big 12.
Just very excited. This time of the year is always exciting to tip off the season, but there's a lot of similarities, I feel like, with this year's team and the start of the 2018-19 season, which we all knew was special as far as the schedule and the team makeup as a whole. So we're very excited to get the year going.
Alexis Callens dials it up from straight away. There's North Alabama's first field goal. With a 26-14 record inside of Flowers Hall over the last 3 seasons at the Division I level, Lions fans will have 6 chances to see this year's team before conference play begins in January.
I was just telling our team the other day that Liberty game was one of the most memorable ones of my career. Just the environment that was created by all the Lion fans just made it something special. So if we can get back at doing that again and bring some exciting basketball to Flowers Hall, that is our goal for this 21-22 team.
This year's schedule features road games against Kentucky, Austin Peay, Murray State, Purdue, and the Hawk Classic hosted by St. Joseph's in Philadelphia, where St. Joseph's, Harvard, and Norfolk State await.
It is challenging, and that's what we need to do. We need to grow together as a team and prepare us well. Again, similarities from 1920 when we played an unbelievably tough schedule, and it prepared us well to go down to FGCU and get that road win. And that's what we're trying to do. You want to play a tough schedule in the preseason and prepare your kids, and a fluff schedule won't get you very far, so we're looking forward to the challenges.
A veteran coaching staff mixed with fresh faces and young returnees. Here's what excites Coach Tiber most about the upcoming season.
I love our staff. I love the continuity. I don't have to teach our staff. Our staff already knows what's expected out of our program, the character and the way we do things. and our kids are in that same mold. So I'm just excited. I love this group of kids as people, and they allow us to coach them every day, and I think the sky's the limit for this group.
That's head coach Missy Tiber and her thoughts on what the schedule looks like for the upcoming season. Next, let's talk some UNA men's basketball. The men made it to the ASUN Tournament Championship a season ago. They returned several key players. Jamari Blackman, freshman of the year several years ago. Peyton Youngblood, he caught fire during that tournament run. CJ Brimback, one of the top point guards in the ASUN. You've got a young guy in Detalion Brown who's a member of the ASUN all-freshman team a season ago. They're poised for another big run. They've got a super exciting schedule. Let's hear from Coach Poolhole next. Fresh off an appearance in the ASUN Championship game in year 3 of the Division I transition, head coach Tony Poolhole has released the full schedule for Team 4. Now in the final year of the transition, Coach Poolhole and his veteran team are set to face off against teams from the SEC, American Athletic Conference, MAC, and last year's NCAA tournament runner-up.
Well, we're really excited about the schedule. Obviously, it's a staple of our program, the teams that we compete against. Not only do we play Power Fives, but we play the elite Power Fives. You know, when you're going up against teams like Mississippi State and, teams like Auburn from the SEC, when you're playing against Central Florida, one of the top teams in the American, and when you're playing against, obviously, Gonzaga, the national champion runner-up, it's going to be a challenge. And those challenges hopefully will help our team continue to grow within the season.
Last year, the nation met UNA in the ASUN Tournament Championship game played on ESPN. Chapman loses the ball loose, gets it back underneath the basket, goes up strong. Isaac Chapman just tied the game up at 62. Detalion Brown looks to answer a three of his own. A deep three from Detalion Brown from downtown. This year, the Lions will once again play on the biggest stages in college basketball, highlighted by a return trip to the mid-major king and NCAA runner-up Gonzaga.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we always want to challenge our guys to get better. And the best way to do that is to compete against the best there is. So again, just really excited about the field. It's going to make sure that the things that we're good at, we continue to do well, and the things that we need to sharpen up, I think a lot of these programs will showcase that for us.
UNA will join Liberty representing the ASUN in the ASUN MAC Challenge at Disney World, where Manhattan and Iona await at the most magical place on earth.
Yeah, well, whenever you get an opportunity to represent your league, I think that always bodes well for your program. And obviously we're very grateful, very thankful, but also very excited about the programs that we're going up against. Obviously Manhattan and Iona, they're from the MAC, and obviously they are teams that always have success in the MAC. And when you're going up against a coach like Coach Masiello or Coach Patino, those are going to be challenges in itself. So we're going to take on these challenges, and we're really excited about it.
13 games, 5 at home, 8 on the road, all to serve one purpose.
Well, I think whenever you're competing against programs like this, I think what it does is it definitely prepares you for the already competitive league of the ASUN. And it got better real quick with the addition of Central Arkansas, with the addition of Jacksonville State, and with the addition of Eastern Kentucky. So for us, we're going to take all the the experiences that we get from the non-conference and apply it and get ready for league play.
That's our show. Thanks for tuning in to the Purple and Gold Hour presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Big shout-outs to Dr. Gregory Carnes, Dr. Jana Beaver, Dr. Eric Kirkman, and head basketball coaches Tony Poolhole and Missy Tiber. That will do it for this week. Coming up next, we'll get you prepped. North Alabama and Campbell. Seth Kane and Jacob Tucker will take it live inside Brawley Stadium. I'm Benjamin Ray saying Roar Lions for now.
This has been the Purple and Gold Hour, presented by the University of North Alabama Foundation. Thanks for listening, and remember that you can catch the Purple and Gold Show 2 hours prior to every football game right here on 98.3 WLX, the home of the Lions. Roar Lions!